Sally convinced her friend Maple to try out the virtual reality video game New World Online. Maple has no prior experience with video games. Sally is unable to join Maple on her first explorations because she has to study. Not knowing better, Maple invests all her points into defense. She finds that it makes her character extremely slow, but can take high amounts of damage. Leveling up comes to her easily. She asks other players for tips. Realizing she wants better armor and shield, she asks Kuromu for help. He directs her to Iz, who's a smith. Iz and Kuromu advise Maple to get coins by exploring dungeons. They underestimate Maple's lack of knowledge, as she takes their advice literally and explores a poison dragon's dungeon alone. She is the first to defeat the dragon and unlock unique armor and a shield, as well as new capabilities that make her a poison-resistant tank. Maple decides to take part in a battle royal event, managing to easily defeat everyone who comes to attack her and winning 3rd place. The next day, Risa joins the game as Sally, a swashbuckler specializing in evasion, and the two go to a cave to fish for materials for a new shield. After Sally finds an underwater cave behind a locked door, the two begin visiting the cave each day to allow Sally to explore the cave and improve her underwater skills, allowing her to defeat the boss and earn her own set of equipment. While at a cafe, Maple and Sally hear about the next event from players Dread and Drag, who tell them about a quest in the forest. Finding a basement in an abandoned house, the girls find a man tied up in a chair and heal him to the afterlife, earning a super speed skill. Then they relax at a hidden beach area, which always has a beautiful sunset. The next day, Maple and Sally head to level 2 to face off against a deer boss, which Sally manages to defeat after Maple gets knocked out. Afterwards, Maple receives the snow-white shield she ordered from Iz before Sally takes her to a special area where they have a star-filled meal together. The second event, a party-based treasure hunt, soon begins. As the event begins, Maple and Sally discover a hidden dungeon complete with its boss, allowing them to earn their first few medals. Heading to the mountains next, the two come across Kuromu's party, letting them go ahead through a warp. Going in after them, Maple and Sally face off against a powerful ice bird boss, Silverwing, whose overly powerful moves start to overpower Maple's defenses. Pushing their skills to their limits, Maple and Sally eventually manage to defeat Silverwing with minimal health remaining. Along with more metals and crafting materials, the girls find a pair of monster eggs that eventually hatch into turtle and fox companions, which they name Syrup and Obero, respectively. Later, the girls reach a desert oasis, where they are challenged by Kazumi the swordswoman. Sally clashes with Kazumi. They fall in a sand vortex to a cave and are now bound by an indestructible chain, due to which all will die if anyone dies. This calls for a temporary truce between Team Maple and Kazumi. The cave is filled with slug-looking creatures that cannot be defeated. Sally and Kazumi use super acceleration to reach the cave's end, where they find the exit high. Kazumi tells Sally to use jump, but Sally warns she might not be able to make it to that height. Sally jumps and Kazumi uses her skill Arc Moon to escape. The three split the treasure and make friends. Maple and Sally collect many coins. Sally finds Maple playing with Kaede. Kaede tells them that she is weak and they need no fear of her attacking them. Kaede shows them her cube, but does not reveal its abilities. She guides them to a spot where there is a dry fountain amongst ruins. Maple suggests filling the fountains. Sally uses the ocean, and Maple uses Poison Dragon to fill the fountain, after which they find themselves underwater in a ruined stage. An octopus-like monster appears with regeneration abilities. Maple uses a Poison Dragon to poison water and effortlessly slay the monster. The game developers choose to ignore Maple, as she is more of a last boss than the last boss they made. Afterward, Sally tells Maple to hide in a cave while she goes for collecting the remaining 2 medals. Sally kills a sibling pair effortlessly with her amazing speed, and later slays, she is comparable to a monster, a whole party, while Maple raises levels of Syrup and Obero by making them defeat low-leveled monsters. Sally returns with the remaining 2 medals. They are found by Kazumi, who was also hiding there. Maple closes off the entrance to the cave with a poison dragon. After the event ends, Maple trades medals for skills Psychokinesis and Acid Rain, while Syrup learns to supersize. The episode ends with Maple making Syrup float and annihilating a group of monsters with Acid Rain. Managing to earn enough to purchase a guild house, Maple and Sally find a treehouse in the forest and form a new guild named Maple Tree, recruiting Kazumi, Kaede, Kuromu, and Iz as their first members. Needing more members for an upcoming guild event, Maple recruits 2 beginning players, Yui and Mai, who both maxed out their strength stats. Maple assists in leveling up the new members, Yui and Mai. Afterward, Sally trained them to avoid attacks, agility being their weakness. Chrome gets a new armor set, while Kaede also got a new skill called Spell Stash. Maple discovered a chain quest where she must rescue a girl. The completion reward is a new skill called Loving Sacrifice, which allowed her party members to be protected by cover, while Maple takes the hit onto herself. This skill also changed her appearance. Pain's guild also starts to take notice of Maple and her guild. As the guild takes part in the 3rd event, in which they must obtain bells from cow enemies, Maple encounters a boss in the church she visited before. Gaining new skills that let her transform into a giant monster, Maple leads her guild into level 3. After hearing about the area's machine lord from an NPC, Maple gets lost and winds up in the Graveyard of Dreams, where she encounters yet another boss. Before the boss goes berserk, it gives Maple the Machine God skill, allowing her to defeat it. In the run-up to the guild event, Sally notices Frederica of the Order of the Holy Sword Guild scouting them and challenges her to a duel. After Sally manages to evade all of her magic attacks, Frederica surrenders and tells her about the Flame Emperor's Guild, unaware that the skills Sally used against her were fake. The guild competition soon begins, and each guild is tasked with stealing orbs from other guilds while defending their own. Sally uses her stealth and cunning to gain a few orbs, having a brief brush-in with the Holy Sword's Dread before managing to steal an orb from the Flame Emperors. With several orbs under their control, Maple Tree takes advantage of Maple's defense to guard their base. Sally and Kaede go hunting for more orbs while Chrome and the others prepare an ambush on any attackers, leaving Maple with Mai and Yui to defend the base. Sally soon finds herself surrounded by Frederica's forces, prompting Maple to leave the base to come to her aid, and allowing Dread of the Holy Order to attack the base. Although Dread manages to deal Mai and Yui with their first defeat, Maple manages to stop him before he steals any orbs. As Sally recuperates, Maple, Mai, and Yui launch an attack on the Flame Emperors, breaking through all of their traps before eventually coming up against Me, Marks, and Misery. The 4th event continues as Maple and the twins, Mai and Yui, engage in battle with the Flame Emperor's Guild. Me, Marks, and Misery fight hard to separate Maple from the twins. To overcome the situation, Maple sends the twins out of reach with Syrup and fights alone. After being knocked around for a while with magic and defense penetration skills, the battle turns south. Maple gets locked in a cage of physical flames. To overcome the situation, Maple unleashes Machine God. The once close battle becomes a one-sided slaughter. Although Me was able to survive, her desire to avenge Marks and Misery led to the use of a self-destruct spell that Maple brushed off as a passing breeze. Elsewhere, we see the other members of Maple Tree working hard to collect orbs. Shortly after, the guild returns to their base and plans for a rest before hiding away. The Order of the Holy Sword has other plans, however, and begins an assault of Maple Tree with the intention of slaying Maple. Pain is supported by Frederica, Dread, Drag, and defeats Maple. Or that's what you would believe, as Maple knows Unyielding Guardian. As it turns out, Maple is still able and mobile enough to continue. Pain targets and eliminates Iz as Chrome protects Mai and Yui. Kaede also ends up getting eliminated fighting against Pain. As Pain summons all his energy to hit Maple with a final blow, Maple sneakily summons her mech arm and fires straight at him, throwing down her shield to aim. Despite that, Pain still stands strong and powers up, as does Maple, who uses atrocity and becomes her monster form and eats Pain, defeating him. She also handles the rest of the group with ease, winning their fight and reviving Iz and Kaede, with Sally slightly upset they showed their hand quite early. Seeing as they could fall behind from bigger guilds, they take the offensive and wipe out other guilds using Maple's atrocity form, in which other guilds try to take down the Flame Emperor, who got saved by Maple. While it may seem out of goodwill, Mapletree's plan is to keep their rank from falling by eliminating lower rank guilds, ultimately obtaining the 3rd place. The team celebrates with the other top guilds joining in the celebration, with all agreeing Maple is far from a normal player, whether she realizes it or not. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to let us know by leaving a like, subscribe for more stories, and check out other stories right here. And you can find me on Instagram, instagram.com/JakeJohnstonVA.